And I'm looking at him, and I just take his mouth, and I open it, and he's got dirt all over his teeth. Just caked like this. I'm like, you idiot. And so I just laugh at him and think nothing of it, but I didn't think to go outside to see why he had dirt in his mouth. So I go outside, and I see that there's a piece of sod which has been torn into shreds, just one little section. So it's not like the whole thing is destroyed. So that irritated me, but I know well enough to know when you train an animal, you cannot discipline it for something that it did hours ago because it doesn't make the connection. It's pointless. So I didn't. I didn't discipline the dog. Later that afternoon, however, I'm in the kitchen, and I walk by, this is Monday, and I see the dog, and he's running around with a piece of sod in his mouth. And so I just grab the door, and the veins start popping out. It's like the bulging and green, and I'm just, Indy! And the dog goes, and he comes running up to me like this. His tail dragging on the ground. He can't get any lower. So I grab the dog, and you're going to report me to animal cruelty. Grab the dog by the scruff of his neck, and I'm like, Argh! And I drag him out, and I throw him to where the sod used to be. And I take the sod, I throw it at him, I smack him on the butt, and my daughter's standing on the deck going, oh my Lord. So, but I was quite justified because the dog understood. Sod is frightening. It's a dangerous thing to play with loose grass. So he'll never go out onto green grass again. I was just absolutely, shockingly furious. Afterwards, I even thought, good night. That's not right. What in the world? It's a piece of sod. And I was just absolutely insane. So then I counseled these two men on how to not be like that. And then Wednesday morning came. Wednesday morning, we woke up, and my daughter Caitlin had to go to on a school trip to Burlington for Fun City, I think is the name of it. And she needed some cash to get in, and Stace told me to go to the bank and take the ATM card and get her some cash and so forth. And so I'm like, okay, where's the ATM card? So, well, it's in my purse, I think. So go and look in the purse. It's not in the purse. Well, it's in the jacket that I had yesterday. It's not in the jacket. It's nowhere to be found. So I'm storming around the house. I'm not yelling because I know better. I know better. You don't treat your wife like you treat your dog. That's not how it works. But I'm not saying anything, but I'm still seething with rage. Seething. Stomping around. Looking around. Flying through things. Just, I can't believe this. What was really bugging me is that we could have looked for it the night before, but we didn't. So I am just furious, and I'm pouting, and I'm snapping at my daughter. Hurry up, get going, blah, blah, blah. I'm just being a jerk. And then I forgot my phone. I drop her off at school. I have to go back and get my phone. I come in, and there's my wife sitting there reading her Bible, looking very subdued and not making eye contact with me. So I'm standing in the kitchen, and she's in the living room. What's the matter? She looks at me, and she says, you don't know? Like, well, I'm sorry, I got mad. And she quotes the Bible. I hate that. I hate that. She quotes 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. It doesn't boast, and it's not proud. She didn't quote all that. She just quoted the italicized yellow part. It's not rude. It's not self-seeking. Love is not easily angered. It's not. But why am I? Love is not easily angered. There's nothing you can do to wiggle out of that. I've been playing chess with the Holy Spirit all week long, and he's just moving my pieces. I'm moving my pieces, and he's patiently chasing me around the chessboard, and now it's checkmate. I had nothing to say. Nothing to say. No rebuttal. No excuse. I'm just easily angered. Be it the dog, be it my kids, my spouse, be it you, when I have to counsel you or hear about you, I just get ticked off. Love is not easily angered. Why isn't love easily angered? Because in Romans chapter 15, verses 1 and 2, Paul says that we who are strong have an obligation to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Let each of us please his neighbor for his good, to build him up. You see, love, the definition of love, is to seek the good of another. Love doesn't seek its own. It always seeks the good of another. That's why love is not easily angered. That's why it doesn't keep any record of wrongs. That's why it doesn't delight in evil. That's why it doesn't envy. That's why it is patient. That's why it is kind. It's always seeking the good of others. But I'm not. So what does that mean? At least for that moment in time, for that part of my week, I was not walking in the Spirit. Why? Why? Why do I easily anger? Why do I lack love? Because I suffer from PMS. I get this bloated feeling once a month. I just get irritable. I swell up. My feet. Now, that's not what PMS means in this context. Prematurity syndrome. Suffer from not being mature in the Lord on any given time. Sometimes I can be filled with the Spirit, and that's when I bear the fruit of the Spirit, and likewise for you too. But on the times that I am not bearing fruit, the times when I am not bearing the fruit of love, which governs all things and all the rest of the fruit of the Spirit flow from that, when I am most needing of counsel because I am an angry idiot, it's because I am acting like a spiritual child. And what's the difference between a child and an adult in many cases? The child is completely consumed with its own wants and its own needs and is oblivious to the needs of others. That's the difference. Prematurity syndrome. Acting like a child. Placing my needs, wants, and desires over the needs of others for their building up. Not even aware of what other people need. My family, my wife, the people in this church,